Hi ladies and welcome. Thank you for joining us today talking about being an Asian woman in the 21st century, in 2019.
Yes, that's fine. My name's Rahela and
Me?
yeah.
My name's Afsana. I'm a full-time student, and I also enjoy doing a lot of henna, and that's sort of like my part-time job as well.
My name is Shamia. In my spare time, I like to do photography and watch Netflix and have lots of bubble baths and masks.
I do.
nice,
Yes.
What was it like growing up in an Asian household?
You go first.
I grew up with my grandparents. My dad was, out of his siblings, he was the first to get married, and he had 3 other siblings. And at the time they were all young, so his brothers and sisters were like young. His older sister got married a bit after. But it was a full house with my grandparents and my dad's brother and sister who were like a bit like, I don't know, elderly teens. And it was really full on, and it was very, very Pakistani orientated.
Was this here?
Yeah,
In Manchester?
yeah, I lived in Salford to begin with.
Okay.
It was very dominating.
Yeah.
It's like my granddad's way kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was very cultural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long was that your whole childhood, or?
No,
what
we had to like speak Punjabi. We had to wear Asian
Yeah.
clothes. It was very like, this was going back obviously quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
We moved out when I was, after a few years, we moved into our own place. Then it was just mum, dad, and me and my siblings. And then I started to see things differently. Then it was a bit more different, yeah.
As a child, you said it was quite strict.
Yeah.
What if you kind of deviated away from the norm of your house? What would happen? Or did you ever try to? Or was it?
It wasn't that
Was
bad.
it even question?
No, it wasn't that bad. As in, like,
Okay.
we had to speak Punjabi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we came
What if
back
you
from
spoke
school,
English? Like,
we'll get told off, like,
Okay.
speak your own language.
okay.
When I was growing up, we went to Christian school across the street, and there were I think 8 Bengalis there, and I'd gone from a full Bengali school to the Christian school, and I don't think I ever remember feeling like left out or I should be, but I just didn't, think.
The kind of importance to learn Bengali wasn't
Yeah,
there.
no.
It was, yeah. It would, when you're a minority,
Yeah.
that sort of happens.
Yeah, but I never thought of it like
And,
that.
I never felt like I was missing out or anything. It was cultured, and I was constantly surrounded by people who looked similar to me. I never, even though one of my primary schools, I was always a minority, but I never felt like one.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah.
I don't think I did either.
Did you ever face racism?
I did in high school, not in primary, not one bit. And I think when we got to high school, we was called Paki a lot of the time. That's when you realise you're slightly different, because you get called something and then you're like, oh, so now you feel the separation. Now you're like, because in our home we were very, we had white friends, Asian friends. So to then go to somewhere and then being called a Paki, I was like, oh, this is quite strange.
Racism. I'm trying to think. So primary school, nothing kind of obvious that I can recall. So at the time when I was doing my art and design foundation, I chose to wear the burqa and hijab. Obviously, I had that on. Not niqab, just burqa. So, just a long black sort of place, jilbab. Yeah. And then the college was predominantly white, and I'd get, I don't know. So some of the kids would say "Assalamu alaikum," and just kind of, it would like for me, it wasn't in a nice way. It was it made me feel like they're taking the mick.
Yeah.
Or like but then there were other kids that was like, oh, stop being snide, or like, oh, move out the way, why are you crowding her, and stuff like that. But I don't think I realised that it was actually racism or anyone was being nasty, and I was going through that, and and I grew up a lot in that year though. So any racism that I think I've always gone through it it's made me stronger, it's made me reaffirm my beliefs and talk about them more confidently.
What's the one thing you've learned from your parents that you want to pass on to your children?
The one thing that's hard.
I think the English version is like, once you've made your bed, you gotta lie in it and you gotta see it through. And I think that's what I hope that I do. And for my kids, I'm like teaching them, you've got to be strong, you've got to be independent, and you can't rely on people. You've just got to be your own person.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. My mum's definitely taught me how to be strong in every way possible. Just to get up.
Strong in terms of patience.
Yeah. Yeah. In everything, like if there's a problem, just to get up and get on with it. She's taught me that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just don't sit around,
the
don't
world's
talk
still
about
going
it.
on.
The world will still go on.
Yeah.
And she is a type, like every single morning she'll get up. If she's ill, she'll just drown a few paracetamols and get on, get cracking.
Yeah, sounds like my mum too.
For someone who doesn't really have any education or awareness of Asian culture and background and religion, would you say that the faith is different from the culture? And if so, how does that play as a whole, coming together to influence you as an individual?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely separate. And I think growing up, especially getting married, for me, I learned to differentiate the two.
Okay.
So now I like to make sure I know the division. I know
How do you differentiate? Like,
I think as you grow up, it becomes obvious what's culture and what's not. But growing up, you don't know.
The lines
the
the
lines
lines are
totally
blurred.
blurred,
They're
because
so
of
blurred.
how you're raised. So like,
Yeah.
we're making that effort to make sure that we raise our kids to know
what culture and what religion is.
the
yeah.
ruling
mostly religion
behind
and
it.
trying to dust away the culture under the rug and keep it there.
With Islamic sort of practices, there's always sort of a ruling or a hadith or there's a reason behind it, so you can always kind of back up why we do that. With culture, it's just kind of practice, it's just tradition and stuff like that. But definitely lines were blurred growing up, and I would question my mum. I think as I was getting older, I started questioning my mum, especially, and my dad, and they just said, I don't know, we just did it. And I think for our parents, it was very disrespectful and wrong to question.
What's the biggest stereotype about Asian women that you've heard of and that you strongly disagree with?
Okay.
That we're not independent.
But I think there are so many things people stereotype Asian women, but for me personally, it's just being a very timid, quiet girl.
Yeah.
And I am quite timid, but that doesn't mean that I don't have the confidence to stand up for myself, or that I can't reach certain goals, or I aspire to high things. And I think people just expect less of you when you're Asian, or they're surprised when you've accomplished something. Like, oh wow.
So is this
but,
you? Or did
but,
you do that?
but really you've just done what everyone else has done. Well, I just think, I know it's not as malicious or people don't always mean it, but when I start questioning those kind of assumptions, I realise it's to do with stereotyping, probably.
Well, thank you so much. That's the end of this segment.
Okay.
Thank you guys for chatting with us.
No, thank you for having
Thank you
us.
for having us.
Honestly,